much. And good afternoon, everyone. Same as Eric, in fact, I've just put down a few advices, but mainly I'm mainly here to try to answer your question. What I wanted to maybe to start with as a preliminary remark would be that, and it's similar to what Eric said, you really go for it. It's as panel members, we realize that, and we take into account really that this is a lot of work, but it's worth it. From the panel member side, what I can say is that the amount of time and work that is invested in evaluating the proposals from my point of view compared to other type of evaluations I've been participating to, this is impressive. This is really, really serious and done with a lot of dedication and commitment, I would say. Also, what I can say in general is that, as has been said, the panels, they gather different issues, different subjects and disciplines. And in my experience, these different perspectives are complementary. They are not conflicting. This is also what makes it very interesting. What I would also like to say maybe is that when you prepare the proposal, what I have seen is that sometimes the theoretical dimension of the proposal tends to take the whole of the project in a way, since it is considered as this is where my main big innovative idea is, the heart in a way of the contribution, of the original contribution of the proposal, but it should not be done at the expense of the analytical, the methodological section and approach within the proposal. The practical organization of the research also is important, and also how all this make up for something that is coherent and that bridges with theory budging also. Second substantial point I wanted to make is that what you explain about the budget in the specific form on the budget, less the amount of budget for each category of expenses, but really how you have designed the budget and the explanatory elements that you give. This should not be discarded. It is read thoroughly, and it's important. It's still as important, even with the new lump sum system that has been presented to you. In my experience, some proposals are, really have failed at this stage. When looking at the budget, when we realized, for example, that there was an unbalanced allocation of tasks within the project that could be seen looking at the budget, with the PI, for example, doing not very much of the work and saying that it would be the postdocs who are going to be in charge, and this could be seen in the budget, for example, or when realizing that for some projects that add an ethnographic perspective, the length of stay that were budgeted for field research were very minimal. So this is something that needs to be taken into account. The last point I wanted to make, this has already been tackled by Natalia and answered to, but I wanted to come back on that because it is really important, especially also from the point of view of gender bias and gender inequality in research. You should use the possibility of explaining career breaks and possible career breaks. This is really important, and also beware of self-censorship. The career achievements, for example, this is taken into account. This is very important, but it is also, especially, I think, at the advanced grant level, which is so wide, this is considered in relation with career advancement. This is taken into account, of course. So yes, you could fight self-censorship in a way, I would say. So this is it for me, and I'm of course available for any question that you may have.
Thank you very much, Sophie, for your presentation. We received two questions. The first one is, I'm planning to submit to the SH2 panel. In your experience, how does the panel look at different types of data? In other words, is a major new data collection preferred over working with an already established data set in the field? Or is the latter seen as less path-breaking?
No, I would say that there is no preferred pathway, and there is no looking for innovation for innovation in a way. This is, of course, groundbreaking ideas are very important, are as the basis of what is looked for, but this also can be achieved in different ways. It could also be achieved through regular type of data. And I have seen different situations and projects that put all the effort on new data collections, but then we're lacking in a way in what is going to be done with this new data. And sometimes the contrary of very interesting ideas working with classical data in a way. So really, this is not innovation just for the sake of innovation, I would say.
Okay, thank you. It's very clear. The second question is the duration of the project flexible? For example, 3 years instead of 5 years? And maybe you can elaborate further about the evaluation of the project duration of the panel.
Yeah, what I could say about that is that we are indeed, so you have to explain within the proposal the duration that you have in mind, the number of months, and also the percentage of your work as a PI during this duration. So it's not that much how many years, but also how much time you invest during these years, because it could be 5 years with 33% of your time. These are all has to be taken into account, and the coherence of all of it is important, and this is what we are looking for, I would say. And maybe I could say as a general advice that if you're, we tend to consider when looking at this project, which are really important and where you invest really what you want to do for a significant part of your career, that you are going to be as invested as needed in the project. And so once again, I tend to think that a project with the smallest amount of work dedicated to the project on a short period of time, with a lot of postdocs, a lot of PhDs, may not be a good strategy. Because yes, that's what also Eric said. You put yourself within these projects.
Yeah, another participant related to this question is asking, would you suggest that PIs spend more than the minimum of 30% on the project?
Well, this is not my place to suggest anything like that, and the minimum is set as 30. But then if there is a reason why it needs to be the minimum, then again, please explain it so that we can understand why it is the case.
Okay, thank you.
Could I just add something here on the previous question about the shorter projects of shorter duration, just from the perspective of call coordination, that be aware that of course projects can be of shorter duration than 5 years, but there is the rule of pro rata that applies for projects of shorter duration. That is that the maximum amount of the budget that can be requested if the duration of a project is less than 5 years has to be adjusted accordingly. So let's say if a project is asks funding for 4 years, then it will have it will not, it cannot request the 2.5 million that is maximum, but it will have to be adjusted accordingly. This rule does not apply for the additional funding, which advanced grant applicants can also request up to 1 million. So just to keep in mind the pro rata rule if your project is shorter than 5 years.
In fact, I don't know. I have to say that I've never seen a project that was shorter than the possible length. So yeah, I think it's quite rare, in fact.
Yeah, thank you for the clarification, Dia, and thank you, Sophie. Another question is about the process of becoming a panel member. Do you receive an invitation, or is there maybe an open application?
Well, so this is not a question for me. This is a question for the executive agency, in fact, because I don't know. Well, so I don't know, meaning that it was not an application, it was not a call. I received an email some day to invite me to become a panel member. And yeah, I have to say that this is something that for the panel members remains a little bit mysterious. We don't know really why we are invited. What I can say is that what we see when the panel is together is that it is there is something that is meant to be complementary. really, and I think that this is what Marie and Dia could say. So we have a balance. There is a gender balance within the panel. It's also you will, I think, never find two same institutions with people from the same institutions. There is some geographical balance, and also from a disciplinary point of view. In the panel I participated to, it's institutions, governance, and legal systems, but it was not only legal scholars and political scientists. There was also people with a philosophy background, political theory and philosophy, people with a more sociological background. So yeah, I think the aim is that these perspectives are complementary.
If I may add something here, so the invitations of panel members is done by the Scientific Council. So it's the Scientific Council who invites panel members and decides on them, selects them. And it's primarily done on the expertise, actually, from the experts they are inviting. And as Sophie rightly mentioned, they aim to have a good balance and a good complementary expertise in the different panels. So this is their first criterion, and of course they have a couple of things that they look at, so that the gender is equally balanced, that there is representatives from all over the world, and that host institutions, for example, are not represented too much from the same countries. They're not represented too much. But the invitation is something that comes from the Scientific Council.
Okay. And yeah, maybe I just have to ask that beyond the disciplines, it's also complementary in terms of perspective. For example, there were in my panel people that are really more specialists of qualitative methods, but also quantitativists, and in all different aspects of how you can look at proposals. There were some different perspectives available within the panel.